Mr. Hunter Biden did not pay taxes on $1 million in 2014 and 2015. Why did the Department of Justice let the statute of limitations run?
As you well know, Senator.
So you can't prosecute?
Big news from Capitol Hill today. Senator John Kennedy went head-to-head with Attorney General Merrick Garland over the Department of Justice's handling of Hunter Biden's tax scandal. This wasn't your typical hearing. It was sharp, tense, and packed with fireworks. Kennedy demanded answers, and Garland tried to hold the line. At the heart of the clash, Hunter Biden allegedly skipped out on paying taxes on over $1 million in 2014 and 2015. But that's not all. He reportedly wrote off personal luxuries as business expenses. We're talking about charges for strip clubs, Lamborghinis, even porn site subscriptions. Wild stuff, and Senator Kennedy wasn't letting it slide. The big question, why did the DOJ allow the statute of limitations to expire, essentially shielding Hunter from prosecution for those years? Garland pointed fingers at David Weiss, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney now leading the probe, and said he'd be issuing a report to explain it all. But Kennedy, skeptical as ever, wasn't having it.
Mr. Hunter Biden did not pay taxes on $1 million in 2014 and 2015. And he deducted payments from his income tax for personal expenses when he did file. For hookers, for a Lamborghini, for strip clubs, for sex clubs, for porn website memberships. Why did the Department of Justice let the statute of limitations run?
As you well know, Senator.
So you can't prosecute?
As you well know, Senator, that investigation is being conducted by Mr. Weiss, who was appointed by President Trump to be the U.S. Attorney in Delaware. Much of the investigation you're talking about occurred during the previous administration under Mr. Weiss. Mr. Weiss has continued his investigations. He's now a special counsel. He will issue a report which will explain those.
So are you saying it's Trump's fault?
Which will explain. No, I don't know whether there's fault or not. Mr. Weiss will explain this in his report.
But we can't. Mr. Hunter Biden walks free on not paying taxes on $1 million from 2014 and 15 because the Department of Justice let it happen, right?
Again, I'm not going to comment on decisions made in a pending investigation. In the end, Mr. Weiss will issue a report. I will provide the report to Congress. You will be able to question Mr. Weiss as to his reasoning, and he will be able to defend his reasoning.
Would you come with Mr. Weiss when he does that?
I'm not going to know the intricacies of Mr. Weiss' investigation. There would be no point.
Kennedy pressed on, hammering the point that Hunter Biden failed to pay taxes on $1 million in 2014 and 2015. And yet, he faced no consequences because the Department of Justice allowed the statute of limitations to expire. For Kennedy, this wasn't just negligence, it was deliberate inaction. He accused the DOJ of letting Hunter Biden walk free, while ordinary Americans would face prison for a fraction of the same crime. Garland tried to hold the line, repeating that U.S. Attorney David Weiss, a Trump appointee, was in charge of the case and would be issuing a report to explain everything. But Kennedy wasn't buying it. He cut through the legalese, asking why Weiss wasn't held accountable for letting such a high-profile case slide into immunity. "Would you appear with Mr. Weiss when he testifies before Congress?" Kennedy asked. Garland dodged, saying he didn't know the intricacies of Weiss's investigation and wouldn't be helpful. That response only fueled more frustration. To Kennedy, and to millions of Americans watching, this looked like another example of a two-tiered justice system. One for the well-connected, and another for the rest of us. Garland's refusal to take responsibility or even offer clarity on how the DOJ let such a critical case evaporate only deepened the public's distrust. What's more alarming is the implication that accountability can be quietly erased with bureaucratic delays and finger-pointing. The Hunter Biden case isn't just about taxes. It's about trust in the institutions that are supposed to uphold the law impartially. When the DOJ can't or won't explain why a president's son escapes scrutiny, faith in the rule of law erodes for everyone. And the questions won't stop here. Will Congress force answers out of Weiss? Will the DOJ finally own up to what happened? Or will this just be buried under the weight of political convenience? One thing is clear. The American people aren't going to forget about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.